The man's name was Dr. Robert Chen. No relation to Mrs. Chen at the apartments, just one of those coincidences. He was a professor of engineering at the University of Arizona, and he'd been living with what he'd done for 4 years. "Come inside," he said quietly. "We need to talk." His house was exactly what you'd expect from a professor. Books everywhere, diplomas on the walls, that academic clutter that comes from too many research projects. He made coffee with shaking hands and sat down across from me at his kitchen table. "Sarah Martinez," he said, staring into his mug. "I think about her every day. You killed her. It was an accident. I swear to God, it was an accident." He was crying now. I was driving home from Che's lounge. I'd had 3 beers over 2 hours. Thought I was fine to drive. It was dark and she just stepped into the crosswalk. I didn't see her until it was too late. "But you didn't stop." I panicked. I got out of the car, checked on her, but there was so much blood. I called 911 from a payphone 2 blocks away, but I didn't identify myself. I told myself someone else would find her, that paramedics were already on the way. Dr. Chen had spent 4 years covering his tracks. He'd gotten his car repaired at a shop in Phoenix, paying cash and claiming he'd hit a deer. He'd never driven down Congress Street again. He'd even switched bars, avoiding anywhere near downtown. "I donated money to her family," he said, as if that somehow made it better. "Anonymous donations through a victims fund. I've given them almost $30,000 over the years. Money doesn't bring her back. I know that. Do you think I don't know that? I've been seeing therapists. I've been on medication for anxiety and depression. I wanted to turn myself in 1,000 times. But what good would that do now? It wouldn't bring Sarah back." I recorded everything on my phone. This man had been driving around free for 4 years, while Sarah's family had no answers, no closure, no justice. As Dr. Chen was talking, I noticed the temperature in the room had dropped. My breath was starting to fog, even though it was November in Tucson, and his heater was running. "She's here, isn't she?" Dr. Chen whispered. I looked around the kitchen, but I didn't see anything. Then Dr. Chen started talking to the empty air. "Sarah, I'm so sorry. I've wanted to tell someone for so long. It was an accident, but I know that doesn't matter. I should have stopped. I should have stayed with you." I felt a presence in the room, something cold and sad and angry all at once. Dr. Chen stood up and walked to a drawer in his kitchen. He pulled out a piece of paper, a typed confession, dated and signed. "I wrote this 2 years ago," he said. "I've been carrying it around ever since, waiting for the courage to turn it in." He handed me the confession. It detailed everything: the timeline, his blood alcohol level, the damage to his car, even the location where he'd disposed of Sarah's ASU hoodie, which he'd somehow ended up with after the accident. I called Detective Morrison right from Dr. Chen's kitchen. It was almost 1 a.m., but this couldn't wait. "Detective, this is Jake Martinez. I called you a few weeks ago about the Sarah Martinez case." "The rideshare driver? Do you know what time it is?" "I'm sitting here with the person who killed her. He's ready to confess." 20 minutes later, 2 patrol cars and Detective Morrison were at Dr. Chen's house. Dr. Chen handed over his written confession and submitted to arrest without any resistance. As they were putting him in the police car, he looked at me and said, "Tell her I'm sorry. Tell her I never meant for any of this to happen." I looked around, but I didn't see Sarah anywhere. Dr. Chen pled guilty to vehicular manslaughter and leaving the scene of a fatal accident. He got 8 years in prison, which seemed like nothing compared to the life Sarah lost. The story made the local news, but they focused on the confession and arrest, not on how the confession came about. I never mentioned Sarah's rides to the police or the media. Sarah's parents released a statement saying they were grateful for closure after 4 years of not knowing what happened to their daughter. Her father said, "We can finally lay Sarah to rest, knowing that justice has been served."